Hello, friends. I'm Mrs. Hughes from Johnson Elementary. I'm so glad you are here learning with me today. We are going to work on something called the counting jar together. You have done this before in your classroom. Do you have a counting jar in your classroom? Yes? Well, cool. This is what our counting jar looks like in the Hughes' Heroes room. And I've got some objects in there right now. Can you tell what they are? Acorns. Pretty cool. Well, before, when you did your counting jar, you worked through counting red and blue tiles. And you counted them two different ways to make sure you got the right amount. Well, today, boys and girls, while you're at home, I want you to work with me on the screen, counting what is in the jar that you see on the screen. So the first thing we will do is count the objects in the jar. Next, you will make the same amount at home with some objects you have at home. You can use some spoons or maybe some small objects, stuffed animals. So that is what you'll do next. Now, last, we will show how many that we counted and we made an equivalent set of, that means the same amount of a different object. We will show it on a piece of paper. So I would like you to get a blank sheet of paper at home and a pencil, and I would like you to draw that many objects. So those are the three things we're going to try to do today. First, we need to get counting on our jar that you see on the screen. Now, what is in that jar? You're right, there are pennies in that jar. So let's count them together. Now, when I pull the objects out of the jar and count them one at a time, I like to make sure that I put them to the side in an organized way. That means in a line or maybe in two lines, so it's easier to keep track of how many I've counted. So let's get started. Count with me at home. You can follow along. You can see my arrow here on the screen. So here we go. Let's count the pennies together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What comes after 5? 6. Yes. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You're right. Kiss your brain. 10 pennies. Now, a really good thing to do when you're counting is to double count. That means to count again to make sure you get the same amount. So let's count them again together. I think I'm going to put them back in the jar as we count. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did we get the same amount that time? We did. We got 10 the first time and 10 the second time. That must mean we have how many in our jar? Yes, 10 pennies. Now that we have counted the pennies in our jar, I would like for you to count some objects at home to match the amount that we counted in the jar. Can you do that? That's your mission. You have to accomplish your mission. So I want you to go in your house. I want you to find some objects and count out the same amount that we counted for our pennies. How many pennies were in the jar? 10. So how many objects are you going to count out at home? Yes, 10. After you get done counting your objects at home, it can be spoons or anything simple, I want you to also draw that many on a piece of paper. So get a blank sheet of paper and a pencil and draw that many objects on a paper and write the number below. Boys and girls, you're awesome. You're working hard. I'm proud of you. Thanks for learning with me today. See you later.